Hey everybody! Looks like we're hopefully live this morning. Hope everyone's warm and happy and comfortable and alive. Alive being the key one there. Welcome back to
Don't
another
care
stream.
about the warm or the happy.
Warm and happy is good too. Or cool and happy. We're in the southern hemisphere, so warm is good. Thanks for coming along for another stream. In case you don't remember, we are the big four of Late War. So the four of us are embarking on a bold 4-year journey, not unlike the crew of the Enterprise, to go where no person has gone before and build entire new armies as we go through the Late War journey with Battlefront. I'm Chris. I'm your hostess with the mostess.
Yep.
I've drawn the short straw, or the long straw, depending on your point of view, and I'm building British for this.
It's
Wayne,
not the short straw.
it's not the short straw, it's the best straw. Wayne, tell us about yourself, what you're doing, who you are.
I'm Wayne. I'm one of the writers at Battlefront. I am working on Germans for this project. Mostly Panzer Grenadiers and tanks at the moment. I've just decided to start painting a second Panzer Grenadier platoon.
And based on one of the comments from last time, are you painting an entire platoon at once, or are you painting it figure at a time?
I've got 15 figures here, so basically roughly half a platoon. I've got four teams worth, so
Nice.
3 MG teams and a command MG team. 15 figures.
Cool. All right, Casey, what are you doing? Since you look the most intent, I thought I'd pick you next.
I am continuing to build some of my ISs. Here we go.
Hey, so you've already made your mistake. You put the machine gun on, have you? So that'll
Yeah, no, I put machine gun on because it's actually got really a quite stout machine gun mount.
Yep.
It'll be fine.
Fine.
I should actually be doing some painting on my T-34s at the moment, but everything, I'm at a point where it takes a lot of concentration, so I figure I'd just do some building instead.
Yep.
Yeah, or an airbrush, Can't really be airbrushing on a Twitch stream because it makes a bit too much noise.
Fair cool. All right, Victor.
I'm doing the American Army, and last week we talked about painting infantry, and I said I was starting a armored rifle company, and this will be my first time attempting to do the whole company at once. So last night the khaki went on everything, and now I'm just starting on doing the brown pants on the dudes all at once. I'll do all the pants, all the boots, all the gaiters. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Oh, just a company. Those are rookie numbers.
It's all the half-track crew too, so it's twice as many dudes as are actually on the table. Yeah, it's a lot for me.
Just wait until you've done a Soviet battalion at once.
Yeah, I probably won't. Maybe one day. If this goes well, who knows? I might be painting lots of infantry companies.
So I'm working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go, Chris.
All right. So there's an article going up today, 2-part article, part 1 this week, part 2 next week on the website. Evan's been working on some Churchills, and he's done some Hessian strips. So that's what I'm working on. I'm trying to. You'll see how he does it in next week's article, but that's my job for today, is to cut out little pieces of paper and PVA them to the side of some tanks. I can tell you, I'm already going slightly nuts. It's not my most enjoyable hobby thing.
You mean more nuts?
More nuts is also fair. Yep.
I think we're all a little bit nuts.
Yes. Yep. Oh, that's what a good hobby does to people. Drives you slightly nuts at times.
Once they're painted, it'll seem worth it then once they're done.
Yeah,
you'll forget about all the time they took.
It's like childbirth, so I hear. You forget about the pain.
So Dirk's asking us, aren't we a bit later than planned? That's a question.
No.
I don't think so. Did we get one of our timings wrong?
Perhaps.
Has there been some daylight savings change that we did not notice?
I don't know. I feel like, aren't you in? I want to say Holland, maybe. Chris, what is the effect you're going for? So, I was trying to explain the concept of camouflage to my son last night. And he's 7, so he kind of gets it, but kind of doesn't. He was confused by the concept, but it'll still look like a tank, Dad. So,
It can only do so much.
yeah, I kind of explained to him that camouflage works best at a distance. So, the British tankers, some of them would put hessian or burlap strips and netting around tanks and on the sides of the turrets and stuff, purely just to add a bit of colour and break up the outline, so you didn't have a sort of a regular looking shape. It's no different, I guess, than putting bits of tree and stuff like that on it. But I don't know, maybe I haven't looked hard enough. I haven't seen a lot of cases of British tanks in Normandy using bits of tree and stuff like that. It could be my perception, but I see it mainly as a German thing.
Yeah, the Germans seem to do it all the time.
Yeah.
Here's a question for, I don't know, probably Wayne and Chris. You've got more Germans than anyone else here. 13th companies are saying he's got the old late war starter box. What should he add to it to make it up to full company?
Is that
Which is the old late war starter box?
Yeah, which one is that?
More Panzer IVs and Tigers.
Well,
this not this one.
Oh, can barely.
Ramsey's Charge. Oh, that's the one with, I think,
What was in
lots
that
of...
I want to say Panthers and Panzer IVs.
I say Panthers, Panzer IVs.
Well, I love Panthers. I'm not as big a fan of Panzer IVs, but I do want to paint some. I don't think I've ever painted any of our plastic ones, so I am quite keen to paint some.
That's why I did this project, because in all my years I've never painted a big bunch of Panzer IVs. So now I have.
Yeah, it's off your bucket list.
Yeah, see, I mean, yeah, I think I'm quite similar. I've painted massive amounts of Panzer Grenadiers and half tracks and stuff, but I've never really painted much in the way of actual tanks.
I'm just gonna put
Pumas,
this up
Panthers,
for Dirk.
Tigers, and AA guns.
So, I've got my pieces of paper, and I'm kind of just layering them over the front of the hull. I'm intrigued to see if it works.
Chris, you should put pictures on the Instagram later today so people can get close-ups.
I would, but my paperweight phone has died. It's not a good time for my battery to die on my phone. So.
Just you could email them to me, Victor, or something. We could post them if you wanted.
Might be a bit hard emailing the models to you.
No, I'll have to.
The photos he takes of the models, not the actual models.
I'll have to. I might take a camera outside and try and take a few photos. The convenience, you get so lazy, don't you? If any of you use your cell phone cameras to take photos of your models while you're hobbying, it's just so easy. You're sitting there, you go click, 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 done. You can send it to your friends or whatever. As soon as you have to go and find a proper camera and actually get yourself organised, suddenly it becomes, it's a little bit difficult.
I don't think I've got my camera out of its bag for about 6 months.
Mine's only come out thanks to the kids and taking photos of them.
I bought a macro lens and everything for it. It's used it about 10 times.
Yeah, to be fair, we're actually quite lucky. We can just go into work and, use the camera and lights there.
Yeah, there is that.
Your lights is the big issue I think I've got here. For taking pictures of models.
I tried taking some photos of some of my models with my camera yesterday and had to, wind the ISO down, and I think I had to actually set it up for like a 2-second exposure just to get enough depth of field.
Oh, jeez. I like it's Winkleworth and Dark Horse 659. First world hobby problems. It really is, isn't it? It's hardly a big problem in the greater scheme of things, but it feels like it is. Part of me says if sort of these hobby adjacent tasks, they take time away from doing the hobby stuff. So you want it to be as convenient as possible. I think that's like a lot of these sorts of jobs we do. If you can easily do it, you'll do it. But as soon as it requires a bit more effort, it's like, oh, well, I could just be painting something instead of doing this thing. I could be doing something else that helps me get the army finished. And it's easier to not do them.
Well, that's the age-old problem with terrain a lot of the time, is that
Yep.
it's great to have a great-looking table, but anytime you've taken away from spending that you spend making terrain or fixing up your terrain or whatever, you're actually not painting your models. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. See, luckily, I actually enjoy the terrain building part of it. So it's actually
And this,
part
ladies
of
and
my
gentlemen,
hobby.
is why Casey has painted 7 tanks as part of the Late War Big 4 project.
Hey, Seven. I've managed to what's that? Oh, I get you.
The heady numbers of 9.
Yeah, 10 and a half.
I've managed to fill up a whole tray, Chris. See, look.
Oh, look
Holy
at that.
Oh. What was that, 14?
5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18. 18 vehicles.
All right, so we've managed to get a little bit off topic. We started answering 13th Company's question, which makes him a Space Wolf, probably.
I reckon you want to get some grenadiers or some infantry, either half-track bound or foot sloggers. Always useful.
Yeah, I think you can't go past an infantry platoon. Personally, I prefer them in half-tracks. I just think they look cool.
Yeah.
And I always think they normally have a better rate of fire. So that's good if you're using them defensively to hold an objective.
Pack 40s.
You can't get Panzer Grenadiers without half tracks. You can just have,
Yeah, but I like the 2-5 ones.
I was going to do the second platoon as motorised Panzer Grenadiers. Because
Right.
I've got a bunch of Steyr trucks I want to paint.
Yeah.
But, you know,
transport command card, have some trucks.
yeah, but half-tracks are cool.
Half-tracks are cool. If you haven't got some... I don't remember if it came with recon or not.
It came with some Pumas,
Oh, there
apparently.
you go. Good. Love me some Pumas. As long as you've got enough to max out your... Not max out, but have enough in your formation it feels full. Probably worth some AA. I love padding out any armoured formation with AA. Low cost in points. It's another unit keeping your formation on the table. Generally they're hiding towards the back of the table, so they're hard for people to hunt down and kill. And if you need to, they can drive out and hose down armoured cars and infantry and stuff like that. So those would be my picks.
And, of course, you know, the age-old of just more.
More is good, yep.
Yeah, what's the ratio of tanks in that?
It's tank heavy from memory.
I think, there were a lot of Panzer IVs and Panthers in that box.
That was one of the ones with the cool resin objectives, wasn't it? It had like
Oh, no, I think that was Rommel's.
so
Oh, no, so many
so
army
many.
boxes.
Can't remember. Sorry.
There was a whole rash of those because I seem to be asked at various points to suggest names for various boxes all sorts of times, in like very close proximity with each other.
Yep.
Yeah, because there was that. There was a couple of those late war ones, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Some come with a actual army list book, didn't they?
Yeah. They were the old third edition ones that came with the books, which were quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that respect, really good way to get started. You didn't have to go and look through any of the other sort of catalogue of books. You could quickly just sort of get in and start playing. Just saw a note from Hudson. Pleased to see you've been buying stuff on the daily deals. I burn a few brownie points every day. Our old website is very manual. The current site is about 15 years old. So every day I'm like, I've got to go and start the daily deals. So I duck off upstairs and come up here and do all the paperwork for that. Dark Horse 65. Yeah.
While we've been in the COVID-19 lockdown, we've only had, how many, 5 of us working total?
Yeah, I think it's 5 of us here in the New Zealand
us
office.
4 and Ashley.
Yeah.
And so
And
between me and Chris, we've been doing the work that Alex and Luke normally do because they're both at home. Yeah.
Yeah, it's added to the fun. So Dark Horse 659. I've been trying to find the scanner material presented in the article on modern cam nets. Apparently, it's not a thing in Canada. I think that's probably Aaron's article, if I'm remembering correctly. I feel like he's probably, I'm not sure, but I feel like he was probably just using good old-fashioned railway model.
yeah,
It used to be made of, like, going back 40 years ago, it used to be made of sawdust, I think, and coloured. These days it's probably something a bit more advanced.
yeah, no, it's just it is knock stuff, I think. Yeah, he pretty sure got it from one of our South Island specialist retailers, specialist hobby stores.
I'd have a look if you're looking for that sort of scatter material, and you want that sort of thing as opposed to kind of the clump foliage stuff that we sell as part of the GF9 range. Check out Nock, N-O-C-H, German company. There's another company who makes the tufts that I use.
Gamer Grass?
No, not Gamer Grass. Victor, do you remember? You remember everything? Who makes the tufts that I like? Another German company.
Mini Natur.
That's the one.
Mini Natur, yeah. Sulfur, yeah.
Yeah, Sulfur, or Mini Natur with no E maybe at the end.
Yeah, it's like Mini Nature without the E, but I think they say Mini Natur. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah. There is a company in the US you could try. I think their website might be something like sceneryexpress.com. I've bought some stuff from them in the past. We're down in New Zealand, so, you know, it's figuratively a million miles away.
Model railway flock that's like made of like wood chips, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's what it was using.
Anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I got some of that stuff, and I was going to test it for using on my Bocage.
Ah, yeah.
But so there was just some Nock.
Yep.
So Nock still make it clear, yeah.
Yeah.
When in doubt, we have a few model railway stores and hobby stores here in Auckland. Not as many as you used to, but I love walking through them. You walk through their scenery section, and you just see all these flocks and stuff, and it's terrible on my wallet because I buy stuff, stick it in a box, and then maybe remember to use it. But yeah.
What happened to that guy in New Lynn?
I don't think he's around anymore. I'm not
that's
sure.
That's where I brought my Silphor Tufts originally.
Yep.
But yeah,
I don't think he's been around for years.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know where I'd buy Silphor Tufts from in New Zealand anymore.
Yeah.
Sells them. You'd have to get Gamer Grass or
something like that.
Army painted ones. Yeah.
Pretty sure Acorn Models down in Christchurch does them.
There you go, guys. If you want to pay top dollar for shipping to Canada, try Acorn Models in New Zealand. That'll be cost effective. US decals out of stock. Don't know. Sorry. If the order's not being sent, probably. With everything in Malaysia being shut down at the moment, the stock for the warehouses all goes through our factory. So, yeah. Sorry. Try eBay. There's always people selling our old blisters on eBay. What's more sexier than a prime mover with an 88 on the back? Ah, yes, you guys were talking about Bunker Flax, I think it was. Yeah, Bunker Flax.
There's two. There's Bunker Flax, and there's the late war one they had in Italy.
Yes, you painted that, didn't you, Victor?
Yes.
I don't remember.
And you'd think I'd remember the name. Yeah.
I was counting on that.
It's one of my favourite vehicles in World of Tanks.
Anything with a big gap.
There's a question for you there, Wayne, about the 653 Panzerjäger Abteilung. Any future in Late War with its elephants and the Tiger P command?
Well,
Is he suggesting a command card or something?
yeah, we're looking at maybe a command card for Bag Ration German Book. I think I've made it. It's been a few weeks since I've worked on anything to do with Bag Ration German.
It's all getting a bit hazy in the back of the brain.
Yeah, looking forward to getting back to work and actually finishing it off. I think it's mostly done. There's just little bits. But yeah, I think I added that. We originally were toying with the idea of having it in the actual book, but we only wanted to do that if we could do the plastic elephant, and that we decided that we didn't have time to do that. So yeah, so when there's no, so that'll that's probably a command card now. Yeah. Sorry for that wishy-washy answer.
That's the best sort of answer.
Will the M8 M20 get in the sale? I think it's more of a when than an if. I have seen a lot of comments about the sale on Facebook. The sale, part of it is at the moment is we are limited as to what we can put in the sale, as to what we can send to you. We don't want to put stuff in the sale if we don't have enough stock in the warehouse. So, we're a bit restricted as to what's in it. The sale is going to keep going for a while. Don't know if it'll be a forever thing. It might just be a whilst the world is in flux. Those are decisions kind of made above my pay grade. So I know that you guys have been enjoying it though, so that's cool. I think there's definitely some people building some Dutch armies out there based on the excitement I saw about the YPRs going up on sale.
I've almost finished my Dutch army. I've only got 4 leopard ones to paint.
Well, time for you to start another unit of something then. I've got, from my Free Nations army, I think I counted, I have 20 M113s, no, 22 or 23 M113s still to do, and another infantry platoon.
I think I've got 15 YPR 765s painted.
Any word on new resin objectives for 2020 and beyond? Yep, there are objectives for this year, and actually that's not a bad segue. So there are resin objectives for this year for events, but we were just talking before, just briefly, and we've got a question for you guys in the chat. So every year we go to a tournament called Panzerschreck. So it's run by Evan. He's our resident sculptor down in Palmerston North. So that's what's that? It's about a 6-hour drive south. We make an excursion out of it. You get a van or a 4x4 or something like that, and you pack into it, go for the drive. And the road trip is half the reason to go. The other reason is Evan's wife makes lovely cakes and biscuits. So those are the draw cards.
Chris's reason.
I don't see you guys shying away from the brownies that she makes. It
only takes us about 8 hours to do our trip with all of our stops at the model and hobby stores on the way.
We love the road trip. That honestly, that is half the reason. We go down, we talk crap for basically the better part of a day. A little bit of backseat driving from whoever's not driving at the time. It's lots of fun. So obviously that's coming up in July, but right now no one knows if it's going to be on. We were all building armies for it. Well, actually Casey was building the army that I was going to take because it's a peers event. How are you guys dealing with it? So how are you guys dealing with the lack of conventions, lack of tournaments? Are you guys tournament players? What are you using to keep your enthusiasm up? Like I say, Panzerschreck was it was our big event, just because it takes so long to drive down and drive back and all that sort of stuff. Are you guys doing more hobby work? I've put up a really cool article about a week or so ago from a guy in England who'd set up his security cameras so he can game with his friends and live stream his games to them. What are you guys doing? Let us know. I'm kind of curious.
I guess lots of people probably got plenty of time to flip through books and noodle lists and think of new armies they'll want to take when the tournaments, come back. So it'll be interesting what, probably be a lot of new armies, I would say. A good opportunity to start something new.
Yep. Actually, I just saw, I suppose I didn't even think about it. Yeah, the ETC has been postponed. Which, I mean, that's obviously a massive event in Europe and for both European and obviously American players, and obviously the expat Kiwi contingent that's over there.
Well, I think even some Kiwis from over here actually go over each year for it as well.
Yeah.
Where was it this year?
I think was it in Moscow? No, it wasn't in Moscow. It was Luxembourg. No, it had headed west because it wasn't was it Croatia last year, and I thought it was heading west. I feel like Luxembourg, but I could be full of it.
Liechtenstein.
Oh, it was Luxembourg. Hey. Apparently, that little gem of information was stuck in the back of my brain.
Hey, Chris remembered something.
It's not common. Yes, Lundlad missed out on the German GT and a tournament in Denmark. Yeah, I like this. Rebrock. I'm doing battle reports on WhatsApp for my Flames group. That's cool. So it's got the double bonus. You're actually able to keep connecting with your mates as well. I think that's one of the hardest parts, I think, for a lot of people. It's just kind of that isolation from your regular gaming group and social groups. Ooh.
Yeah, luckily we've got we've had our daily catch-ups with each other just because of work, so we haven't really missed out on, lots of the trash talk.
Yeah, that's one of the things we did was we set up a Discord channel, so we can just go in there and catch up with each other. If we've got work questions, it's easy to fire a question in there. If you need help from someone else in the office, it's just easy to do that there too. Belgian GT, November 21 and 22, if borders are open. That'd be cool.
Yeah, hopefully the world is looking good by then.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
So it says Serbia last year, guys, not Croatia.
Ooh, sorry. was it? Was it Croatia recently? Then I'm sure.
I think it was Greece. Recently.
Oh, it was Greece.
Well.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You should just go through all of the countries in Europe. One of them will be right.
Yeah, but then I'd miss a country.
Yeah, true.
Someone would be insulted.
No one could be more insulting than me last week, I think, with the French accent.
Yeah, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. I like this. Abrasive Bear 51. I also like the name Abrasive Bear. I'm teaching people to play Flames of War and Team Yankee over Facebook and hosting group painting sessions online with my group. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good. We've done, outside of these streams, we've done one hobby session with us four as well. It's almost the same as being in the room together.
Yeah.
The hard thing is when you're trying to say, "Oh, look what I've done," and it's on a potato camera. You can't actually share your work too easily with each other.
Yeah.
I like that term, potato camera.
Yeah, you can. I can see you're working on a figure.
It's a dude.
Especially when you've got a poor lighting setup like mine.
Yes. Oh yeah, Dickimax. Yes, that's the other 88 on the. One of the other 88s on the back.
Dickimax and the Stereomeel were awesome.
Yep. We should invite the BF guys to Tel Vasota. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I'm always up to travel, but that's the problem. Hopefully some of the guys in the UK office could go.
Where's Tel Vasota?
I'm going to guess Finland.
Don't stop guessing things. You've been wrong most times.
It's fun. Helsinki.
Helsinki, right.
Sorry, I instantly thought of Die Hard. when they're talking about Stockholm syndrome.
Isn't Talvasota finished for Winter Walk?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Oh. So Finland, Helsinki. Yep. Ah, yes.
Yeah. Maybe in a few years I'll be able to convince the wife that we can stop there when we go on our big overseas trip to Iceland.
Ah, yes.
I'm not sure my chances are great.
Yes, because that's turning right instead of left.
Yeah.
Denmark, you turn left to go to Iceland. Turn right to go to Finland.
One time I managed to convince my wife that while we're on holiday that I should go and do something wargaming related. It didn't end well, so I don't ask anymore.
You know, I had thought about timing a trip to there for go to Polar Bear.
Ah, yeah, with Yokel.
Yokel, yep.
Yeah,
At least we'll have a place to stay when we go to Iceland. Just knock on Yokel's door. Everyone knows everyone.
See, Victor managed to insult every Frenchman last week. Casey's dialing it by picking a new country to insult. Everybody knows everybody.
Well, Iceland is so small. I read there's an app where you can tell how related you are.
Oh no. It's devolving, guys. It's devolving. I love this. So I took my wife to France. She was thrilled but confused when we got there. I didn't know all of France was Normandy. That sounds like something I would do. Right, Grenadier Games. So guys, new T80 box has 10 unit cards in it. Warsaw Pact countries didn't have it in our timelines. So in our timeline, so will they have them in TY World? No. That's not why there's so many cards in there.
Not sure we can spoil anything about that yet, can we?
I don't know. That's the problem. Like we were discussing last week. Don't know if Pete's watching. So if we tell people, maybe no one will find out.
Just do it.
Just do it. Okay. So Wayne, why are there so many unit cards in the T80 box?
What?
There's your answer. No. So one of the things, Wayne put a cool formation in the book, which is about T80s that have a different level of, I want to say, training to the normal T80 units. Kind of a, what was it? Kind of, Wayne, a showcase unit,
Yeah, like a demonstration unit.
Demonstration, that's the term.
A Soviet version of Panzer.
Yeah. So, got a little more funding, got a little more training, got a little bit more time preparing for World War III. After all, in the Team Yankee world, the Soviets knew it was coming. So they were able to pre-plan a bit. So, think of, if you've seen the hero concept from Flames of War, it is along those lines. So I think there's going to be some very excited people when that one comes out.
I'm excited.
I think, have people seen this formation already, or is...
No, this is completely new in the Team Yankee universe.
The World War III Soviet stuff's come out yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in Pete's stream he showed off the T80 box cover and a few bits about it, but nothing about the unit. So
yeah, because why did the number of cards stand out so much? Because I would have thought there'd be.
It's 10 unit cards is a lot. By the time you do a force card, a formation card, an HQ, and then a couple of platoon cards, you only need about 5 cards.
No, it was the T80 box that had 10 cards in it, I think.
Yeah.
Not the army deal.
Yeah, right. So that would only be 2 extra cards normal.
The formation, so yeah.
Formation, and you put a couple of platoon cards.
2 formation cards, 2 unit cards.
Yep.
So
HQ and platoon, and the BMP. Oh no, they won't be in there.
No, not in the tank box.
No.
No, and maybe a force card, so that's 5 cards.
It doubled, the fact that there's that new organisation doubled the number of cards effectively though. But I was wondering when someone was going to spot the fact that there were a lot of unit cards in the box. I hadn't seen anything on Facebook about it, so I wondered if we'd gotten away with it, but apparently not.
Damn middling kids.
Yeah. Italy. Discuss.
Discussed.
Yep.
I know where in Europe that is, actually. That's the one place I do know.
Are we doing Italy books?
A few of the lists can already be appropriated for that in D-Day German and D-Day American and stuff.
And actually, and a lot of the cool lists that I liked out of the old version 3 days, like Hermann Goering and stuff, can already really be built out of Fortress Europe.
Yep.
You know, because you got your Panstrees, you got your some of your big cats, your Ferdinand. So I think a lot of that can be.
One idea I had was maybe we could do at some point. This is not an official plan, so don't take this as gospel. My idea was that that we could do maybe like a command card pack to use with the other books that represents Italy units. You could do like Italy British command card pack that'll tell you what to use in Fortress Europe and the American book, and then a British one, a German, an American one, a German one, and then so you could stick your favourite types of units in, things like the New Zealanders or whatever, and the South Africans and things like that. For the British, and then for the Germans, you could put Hermann Goering. Like basically, use the mixed Panzer one from FE, but they've got a slightly better rating for something because they're Hermann Goering or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool to do, even if it wasn't an official thing, but just as a web download or web article or something. Victor Blacker Bob said, "Can Victor do an Italian accent?"
I could probably I could try, but I won't. No. Last week was the first and only time doing accents.
It's probably a good call.
Although, yeah, let us know if there's anyone Italian in the chat. Maybe I'll get wild. Who knows?
It depends on how many people answer yes.
Yeah. Well, if there's even one, I'm not doing it. Because I assume Hudson was French, or at least from a French-speaking country. No, this is not an accent. I'm a nasally Kiwi.
Are the US?
He's still French. Good.
World War II US getting a heavy hitter anytime soon? Well, they will get the Pershings and Easy 8s and Jumbos, but that won't be till we return to the Western Front. So that is a ways off. The next year.
There's a Jackson at some point as well.
Oh, the Jackson, yep.
Well,
36.
Yep.
The heaviest hitter you need are M12s.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to love a vehicle where the crew has to stand at the back behind it while firing it.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly wouldn't want to stand at the front.
No.
I had when I was much younger, I was in the Navy, and one day they were doing a fire exercise, and I didn't hear the announcement and was outside on the deck when they were firing the 4.5-inch guns, and I got inside pretty damn quick because it's loud.
Pardon Casey's French.
Yeah, sorry. We're allowed one per episode, aren't we?
Shocking. Oh, I'm not convinced. One of the bits of advice Evan gave me when doing this, so when layering up the bits of paper, was to sort of do an assembly line so you can let a layer dry, and So it means you're not moving all the other bits around, and I'm not following his advice at the moment, and I think that might be to my detriment. I should work on this Cromwell that I want to try it on as well.
Apparently I'm allowed to swear in French.
Nerd.
We need to bring up Google Translate and work it out.
Just reminds me of the second Matrix movie.
Oh, yes.
Nothing reminds me of that, apart from Cisco.
With the Merovingian, but...
So someone's asking if we're going to see an AMX40 or a Leclerc for the French and Team Yankee. I'm in favour of that.
Yeah.
I'd love a Leclerc. We'll see what happens though. That's the thing. The schedule goes a long way at the moment, and everything that's happening at the moment isn't helping from a design or a release perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of every longer the lockdown goes for, the longer the releases get pushed out.
Yeah. Like you guys, it's hard, eh? We want to see all of our products coming out. In Wayne's case, he's obviously working on books well in advance now. And you get to the point where you forget where things are at, and you become a bit disconnected with when they're coming out. And so none of us really like that. It's a lot more fun to work on a project much closer. Well, it's more stressful to work on a project close to the release date, but it's more fun as well, because when it hits, it's still fresh in your mind, and it's something that you've worked on recently. So when people ask you questions, you've still got answers as to why you did things like that, and you're still kind of enthusiastic about it and able to sort of, if you started in an army as part of that project, when everyone else is only a couple of months behind you, you can take that enthusiasm and keep going.
Yeah, it's like the Team Yankee US book. I finished work on that quite some time ago. That still hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as long as you're not working on, two books from the same nation for different periods at the same time. A lot of confusion in the office at the end of last year. We're saying, I'm just working on the British book. Well, World War II, World War III, and there was just so much confusion.
Yeah. I thought you said you finished the photography on the British book. No, the World War III one. Oh, okay. So have you done the command cards? There are no command cards in the World War III book. No, we're talking about the World War II one now. Yeah,
and you actually change, especially when you change periods in the same conversation, it's really weird.
Yeah, that was hard.
I was working on the World War III Soviet book and the Bagration Soviet book at the same time.
Snipers and Flames of War.
Discuss.
No, that's a question I see occasionally. I think we've got not those ones, but in the other mid-war books. What was it called, Casey?
Enemy at the Gates and Iron Cross.
Yeah. So they have snipers in them, just because of the sort of city fighting nature, and it seemed thematically sensible. What's your opinion, Wayne, on snipers in Flames of War in general these days? Why they're not there? Will they come back in other places? What's your personal opinion?
We kind of stopped doing them in version 3, really.
Yeah.
So they came back, but I didn't work on those books. That was Mike and Phil were working on those.
Yeah.
So I was never really involved in that discussion. So.
From my memory, I think
if we put more in, they'll be just following similar sort of rules to what Phil and Mike put together. Yeah.
I guess if you wanted to do it for a social game, or as a part of part of a scenario, something like that, you could just use those rules.
Yeah, those rules would work in late war as well. I mean, the only difference is what the points value of them will be, which I have no idea.
Yeah.
But if I remember in the past, I don't think there was any points difference between a sniper in mid-war or late war in version 3. So
yeah. No, what
they were like flat 50 points. So whatever
that's my recollection as well.
are in mid-war is probably because they're infantry teams. Infantry teams don't generally dramatically change points between periods. It's only their anti-tank weapons and things like that that will affect their points in between mid and late. Like obviously, infantry anti-tank weapons are worth more points in mid-war than they are in late war. So.
Yeah, I remember Phil explaining that kind of to me years ago, and the rationale was something along the lines of, if an infantryman is your baseline, then as long as they stay relatively consistent throughout the periods, because their ability to affect each other remains relatively consistent. I could be butchering what he said here.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. Yeah.
So if you keep the infantry platoons at a semi-consistent points cost, and then you build things around them.
Yep.
Which, that made sense to me.
Yeah, so snipers is not. I mean, they're not like in the past. Snipers were like a generic thing you could give to an infantry company, but we've tried to steer clear of that approach. I think.
Yeah, and I think snipers, they were very gamey as well in terms of how you could use them, and they had a disproportionately high impact on the game, perhaps, compared to what they should have. It's why I'm guessing that's why there's no snipers in Team Yankee either, as a rule. They're there, they have an effect, but it's not who you're playing. You're not playing the snipers. You're playing a tank company commander, an infantry company commander, or whatever. Just assume that their effect is somewhere kind of in the greater mix of things. Much like actually in Team Yankee, you see questions a lot as why there aren't SEAL teams or Spetsnaz teams. They're there, but they're doing stuff further behind the lines. They're not. Last thing a Spetsnaz team wants to see is an entire combat team of M1s rolling by. If they see that, they're hiding in their hedges and their hides or whatever. They're not coming out to play.
Yeah. So, Shre Panzerjäger, that was my cat meowing.
Is the cat by your feet somewhere? Is it?
Oh no, I'm locked in the garage to keep the kids out, and the cat came in the cat door and wanted to go see the kids.
You don't have the most luxurious man cave there, Casey.
Oh, it's glorious. It's 5 meter by 5 meter cave. 6 meters, maybe more than that, but yeah. Yeah, no, I managed to stake a claim in a quarter of our garage.
Move in, claim garage.
Pretty much. Actually, I think it was more along the lines of, we're only getting a 3-bedroom house. Right, I'm claiming a hobby room.
Yeah.
Wherever I can.
You didn't just decide to stack the kids up two in a bedroom then?
I did suggest that. I got told off and got told that my hobby space wasn't as important as children having their own bedroom each. See, I disagreed, but lost.
Partners just don't understand, do they?
Girl probably affects it too much.
Oh, jeez.
It doesn't have a beer fridge, but I've been tempted to install one.
That's the problem with your space. Doesn't really have a place to kind of game as such, does it? It's kind of.
That's only because there's so much stuff.
Yeah.
In the other part of the garage, we're currently renovating our house, so we've got a bathroom and a half worth of bathroom stacked in the garage. Once that's all gone, I'll actually be able to have a space for gaming. But the other problem is I live basically an hour or more away from everyone else, so it's kind of difficult to, get people down gaming.
Yeah, it's an excursion to come down.
It's a
And
day trip.
We're lucky we have work to do most of our gaming anyway,
Yeah, there is that.
with the tables and terrain there. If I didn't have that, I'd be pushing to make room somewhere for a 6x4 in the house.
I can have a game at my house. My lounge kitchen is like open plan, so there's a kind of I've got 2 couches, and one of the couches doesn't really get used for much, so just move that off to the side, and then I've got enough room to stick a table. I'll fold up tables to have a 6x5 I can normally put up.
Yep. Yeah, I'm the same. I got some fold-out tables that can go in the garage, but I think, as Victor says, I don't remember the last time I played a game at home. Played some games at friends' houses, but playing with these guys or other people at work, just easy enough to go into the photo studio or the lunchroom. If you've followed any of the live launches, you will have seen us playing plenty of games in our lunchroom over the years. Just sort of hope that no one else wanders in or wants to use the table.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll have a different office in a few months' time.
Yeah. Our studio, we're looking at moving, so we're hoping to have a bit more space, which would be nice.
I don't know if Pete's still got the eye on that same place he looked at or not. I don't know.
Don't know. Everything's a bit up in the air.
That was all before all this went down, so yeah.
Lundlund, I'm getting a man cave hobby room in December when our house is done. That'd be. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, right? A really nice hobby room. You see people sharing pictures online. You're like, oh, that looks nice. Just a place where you've got a table set up all the time, a painting area set up. Yeah. Brock, guys, coming back. How long for deliveries in Europe? If the stock's in our Nottingham warehouse, it should dispatch within a couple of days and be straight out to you. That's the real thing. If the stock's there. Wayne, do you remember about King Tigers and Bagration? There's a bit of confusion in the chat.
No King Tigers and Bagration.
So it's hanging on for Bulge?
Yeah.
Yep.
Basically because we wanted to do them in plastic, and it didn't fit into the plastic schedule for Bagration to have those extra kits. So, yeah.
Brock, if you want to send the Battlefront Miniatures account on Twitch message, send me your email address, and I can jump in there and check in the order situation. I can remote desktop to my work computer and jump into our software and see if I can figure out what the deal is and let you know. Where will your new studio be? Well, hopefully that's the problem. Auckland is a geographically what's the term I'm looking for? Spread out place. It's so
terrible.
It's just awful. Auckland has terrible public transport, better than it used to be, but still terrible by global standards. And we don't have a lot of high rises and apartments. So effectively, we all live on what they used to call quarter-acre blocks. So Casey takes you an hour and a half via train to get to work?
No, it only takes me an hour and 5 minutes.
Hour and 5 minutes, there you go. Victor, how long for you to drive?
Hour.
Because public transport just wouldn't work for you where you are.
No, it doesn't come out here. No.
Yeah. And to just put it in context, I live south, Victor lives east, Wayne is north, and Chris is west, and we all meet in the middle.
Yeah. So Wayne, how long are you to
on
get
the
to
bus? Hour and 15.
Yeah, and I'm about, depends. I do quite a bit of walking as part of mine, so somewhere between an hour and an hour and a half.
Mine includes walking as well, so hour and 15 from home to work.
Yep. So yeah, we're the studio team's all over the show. So trying to find a place that's in the middle.
It's actually quite funny because Wayne's geographically the closest person to the office, but it takes him the longest to get to work because of public transport and going across the harbour bridge.
Well, because I take the bus. My bus takes me into town, and then I walk from town to Parnell, where our current office is.
Yeah.
I could take the green link bus that takes me from town to Parnell, but it actually often takes longer to wait for that bus to arrive than it does to actually walk from town to Parnell. So
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of use the same logic.
20-minute walk. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually quite enjoy the walk. Sort of a good way to prepare for the day or wind down.
Yeah, because the actual bus ride takes, depending on the traffic, 45 minutes. But I mean, on a good day, it might only take half an hour. But yeah.
Landlord was asking, any chance of buying Flames of War artwork print somewhere? At the moment they're just being given away as prizes. I am working on a Flames of War art book that Pete mentioned in his Twitch stream a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure when that's going to be out. I've almost finished it, but again, it's just because of the whole COVID lockdown, it's just been put on a slight hiatus. But that is coming, so you will have a way of buying, our artwork.
Challenges coming back. The World War II one, absolutely. I'm going to paint my Cromwells, and I'm going to make sure that I'll be painting some challenges for those when we get to them.
Yep.
TV Robbie.
I'm skipping the middle man and going straight for comments.
I have comets assembled out in the garage. I was looking at them yesterday. I built them when we made the plastic kit, and then stopped. One of my many failed British armies.
I got really excited by the comets when they came out as well. But like you, I've got some.
Yep.
Just waiting for them to come around again in version 4.
Yep.
Because they just look awesome.
Mine are all assembled, but I just have to start painting them at some point. But I need the excuse to paint them.
And I'll be controversial here and just say comets look much more awesome than Cromwell's.
I think there's space for both. Come on. TV Robbie, back in March you emailed Alex. Alex is currently on leave, so that will be slowing down any replies, I'm sure. If you want to, fire it through to editor@battlefront.co.nz. You can have a look as well. Poke the topic again. How come the Skyhawk gets the bomb trait in Fate of a Nation but doesn't in Vietnam?
You'd have to ask Phil, probably.
Or Mike.
Or Mike.
Yeah. No idea. So what? I don't even remember what the bomb trait is, I'm sorry. And I can't see Fate of a Nation. I can see Great War up there, but I can't see
It's not a
Fate of a Nation there at the moment.
not in the Fate of the Nations lessons from the front, is it? Because bomb is just a rule that says that that you don't if you only got like 2 aircraft bombing, you
Right.
They may not.
Full unit, yeah.
Yeah, but they might not have a bomb stat line.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not really been involved in Vietnam at all. So
Yeah. So it gets it in Fate of a Nation, but not in Vietnam. So I could say that maybe the Israeli Skyhawk drivers are just better. I'm sure someone's going to take some offence at that.
Geez.
I would say it's possible we've lost Wayne. He's gone.
He'll be finding the book.
It's possible that just wasn't a thing that had been thought about at the time.
Yeah, because Vietnam came out first. Maybe it was something that was missed and then was added.
Yeah.
Vietnam's like the first book that was basically Team Yankee 2 rules.
Yeah.
Which is the same as version Flames book.
Yeah. They laid a lot of that groundwork.
We're talking about this book, aren't we? Not one of the earlier ones.
Yep. Yeah. When's the MI8 hip being seen? ASAP.
Asking for a friend, right?
Yeah. As Pete was saying, Casey's going to build a little. He wants half a dozen, or you want 4, don't you? So for an airfield.
Yeah, 4 for an airfield. Well, I've got a 1/100 scale Antonov Cub that I'm going to build up for a as scenery for the table as well. So it's going to be quite a large airfield.
Yep. Yeah, it's made. Malaysia has made some molds of it, so they're able to start producing it.
Malaysia needs to get back to work.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're shut down, and we don't know how long for at the moment. As far as we're aware, they've got a movement control order, which is basically stopping people from moving around. We're not allowed to open the factory. Staff aren't allowed to go there. It's just fully shut down. I'm guessing we'll know more in a few weeks' time. Ramadan's kicking in now or very soon, so that normally causes a bit of a slowdown in Malaysia, but I think the government's just keeping a tight lid on things because the last thing they want is kind of a second wave and a resurgence. Grenadier Games, Sturm Tigers, yeah, of course. I'm sure they're going to come back too. I mean, AVREs are here for the British, whilst they're obviously not the same. They are kind of in a similar sphere in terms of how they're used. Don't know what the rules will look like. I think it's just such a cool model. It would be a shame to lose it from the range. We'll see. Now, we did promise ourselves this week we wouldn't go too long. It's 9:35 here in New Zealand, which means it's late-ish in England, I think, and Europe, and
I think it's around midnight, I think, in England.
No, not quite yet. So what we'll do is we'll hang around for another 5 to 10 minutes if you've got any desperate questions you want to ask. Otherwise, we'll take this chance to do a little bit more hobby work while we're getting paid. Don't often get to do a bit of painting and hobby work while being paid. And then we'll sign off for the morning. Oh, geez. 36 minutes past midnight in Finland. Yeah, that's a bit rough.
Oh, so that's dedication.
Yeah, I'm not sure I was staying that late to talk to us.
No, but thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let us know if, because we may look at doing these at different times. Because I know 8:30 a.m. for us is an odd time to paint, but we chose it because it seems to work best, good balance for America and England.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's a better time, let us know.
I'm in night shift, so just passing time. That's fair enough.
Yep.
Digital formats and Flames of War. So it's funny, we've been doing a little bit of stuff with Tabletop Simulator because of board games. Some of the designers that we work with, the guys that made Dune, for example, they use TTS a lot. I know that some of the playtest groups have been trialing TTS to keep playtesting over this break. I think right now it was a technological leap for us to get here on Twitch. TTS at a corporate level, at a company level, is probably a much bigger leap for us. So don't know. Yeah, no good answer for you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Will the bunker flak return as a unit? I'm sure it will. I can't see it not coming back in early war. Such a cool thing.
Yeah, I can't see why it wouldn't be an early war.
But speaking of Twitch and the June guys, I think we're taking a break next week. And I think the June guys are having a Twitch, Chris.
Yep, that's true. So if you want us to ask some questions of those guys, so these are the guys that originally made Dune's 30 odd years ago. They've also made Cosmic Encounters and a bunch of other games. So they're
my camera seems to have fucked up.
Oh, Wayne's stuck in a pose. We didn't even notice. So we'll see them. Hopefully next week. Let's see if we do this. What happens? No, that's the wrong one.
Yep, that is
How's
the
that?
that is the Doom Gamers remake. It's a reprinting basically of the old 70s, 80s game.
That's not working. Sorry, we've got an image prepared. Wayne has the least reliable internet out of all of us. So,
and that's saying something.
That is saying something. So we'd pre-prepared an image in case his internet drops out, but we'll just leave him in that pose and hopefully nothing goes wrong.
I could. Can you still hear me?
We can still hear you. That's the key.
Yeah.
Wayne is lost to the Kraken.
Sorry, Granddaddy Games. Yeah, you did miss that. The answer is probably for the Sturm Tigers.
Yeah.
But in what they do, their form, nothing's been written for that yet. So.
Yeah.
Wayne is lost to the Kraken. Now there's an even more unflattering pose of him on there.
Yeah, I'd say he's 2 kilobits a minute passing through his internet connection.
Wow.
I don't know why it's done that. My neighborhood's weird.
It's just giving everyone a close-up of the Optivisor.
Yep.
Optivisor and my spankingly short haircut I gave myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily I don't have enough hair to need to worry about a COVID-19 cut. I can see Casey's jiggling.
Yep.
Phone app for forces.
How can you tell?
Yeah. Phone app for forces of war. You would never. I don't think we've ever really discussed a phone version of Forces of War. Greg, who looks after it and maintains it, I'm not sure if that's in his area of expertise or not. Can try to ask him and find out though.
I've used the Forces of War website on my phone though, and it seems to work okay.
Yeah, I seem to remember having a chat to some guys in America a long time ago, and about the reliability of internet at conventions and stuff can be a bit sketchy, especially in larger convention halls and stuff like that. But hopefully by then you've built your army, so yeah.
Or maybe you want to noodle what's in somebody else's army can do to you. And how badly you're going to hurt.
Yeah. I am just thinking I really want to screenshot Wayne, and we can use it for in-house memes at some point.
I can't see a thing at the moment. I'll have to go look at the Twitch stream, actually. Oh, wow.
Submitted mid-war unit cards in forces. I thought that was the plan, and I thought that had been done. So I'll make a note of that one. I've got my handy pad here in case there's anything I needed to think about later. I know there'd definitely been chat with Greg about doing it. There is a bit of a backlog of user-submitted mid-war cards. Yeah, it's one of those things that just needs to fit into the schedule. Forces and unit cards. Bonus question. Oh, this is a good one. Which Vallejo colour for German Field Grey? German Field Grey. I have no opinion.
I like German Field Grey.
Depending on what shade you want. The ones I'm painting at the moment, I'm using US Dark Green, 893.
Yep.
It'd be slightly greener than normal field grey, which is a bit grayer. But you could field grey or that, or you could paint some with field grey and paint some with US Dark Green, and then paint some with other greyishy green shade.
So what do you
look at any field grey uniform? They're all different colours.
So you're talking because of just fading and so on
different
over time.
Dye, different manufacturers, different materials, different rates of fade.
Yep.
The best German uniform colour is still has to be anything that makes oak leaf.
Oh, jeez. Here was me thinking Casey was going to say
English uniform.
English uniform, yes.
English uniform is one of the best colours.
But towards the end of the war, they actually had brown British battle dress style kind of.
Sorted, legit way to use it.
You don't make any figures. So they're all wearing a short jacket like the British battle dress. Yeah.
Yep.
All I heard is I'm allowed to paint my German's English uniform. Great.
Yep. Ludland, how about a decent 15mm disc camo solution? We're talking for tanks, I'm guessing. Didn't Blake? I feel like you might have even reposted it recently. Didn't
Yeah.
Blake do an article
There's a
about
good
disc
article,
camo?
yeah.
It's still never going to be quick, but
No.
it was a good way of doing it.
Because he was using a hole punch, wasn't he?
Yeah.
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 I checked that.
I got some. I did some larger scale fantasy model, science fiction models using some 1/48 scale masks, and they're painful to use. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's going to be a masking issue.
You're not jumping out to do it.
Nah.
So
What did everyone get achieved today? I got brown pants on a full company of armored rifles.
I got the flesh finished on my guys, and I've on my third guy putting their base field grey uniform colour on.
And I assembled 2 tanks.
Yeah, I'm going to say I don't feel like I achieved much.
That's good.
It's sort of. Hopefully the camera's going to focus at some point. There we go. Hopefully
Looks a little bit Minecrafty, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll notice one of those has a long barrel and one has a short barrel. So I'm doing some IS-2s and some IS-85s. IS-85s are awesome.
Count on Casey to be gamey.
Oh yeah.
All right, we'll do one.
Apparently building doesn't count.
Yeah.
I disagree, but you know.
We'll do one final question, and that is, which Soviet green is your favourite? Because we've all painted Soviet forces. My answer's easiest. I go with whatever these guys tell me.
I can't remember. I think
It really depends on what paint you're using.
Yep.
Mine. I did actually have a look on the. You can have a look on the Big Four website. I did an article on where I tested a whole bunch of Tamiya greens to get the right Soviet green that I liked. I think the one that I liked most was a mix of 2 or 3 colors.
Classic Casey.
Because you know I like mix.
Why take one color out of a bottle when you can take 7?
Oh, you've got to get it the right shade.
No.
you can't go wrong with Russian green because it's easy to remember, and it's green.
Russian green's good. I like to highlight Russian green with a bit of Luftwaffe camo green, just because it's a lot brighter, and it just adds a bit more contrast in there. If I'm airbrushing,
Mixing's for weirdos. Just out of the bottle, straight on the bottle.
No, I'm not saying mixing. I'm saying you paint it that, then you dry brush it afterwards with Luftwaffe camo green.
That was the last amount of World War II Russians I painted, was just as Casey said, with Russian green as a base and Luftwaffe green as the either Luftwaffe green or reflective green.
Yeah, reflective green's a good color. On all my Soviets that I'm currently painting, I'm just using Tamiya NATO green because I'm putting so many other colors over the top that the actual green underneath didn't really matter as long as it looked green. Again, I see photos, especially modern photos of Soviet tank parks, where they've just graveyards, and there are 127 different shades of green. So there is no wrong green.
Yeah, pick something that you like the look of. I think one of the things you might sort of have picked up, it depends whether we're airbrushing or whether we're brush painting. That might drive sometimes what brand of paint or what colour of paint we're using. And whether you're happy thinning Vallejo, whether you want to use something else. Do pick a colour you like, and if someone says you're wrong, you're probably not. So as long as it's not purple.
Yeah, or blue. Yeah. So like when we usually go, well, I like to go lighter than what is probably real, so it looks good on the table. Because the real Russian tanks would be very dark. It's like German grey would be very dark, but we usually don't paint them that dark because it starts to just look like a black blob on a table.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at a lot of historical photos of German tanks, and because of the contrast in sunlight, they almost look black in the actual historical photos. Whereas you never see them painted like that on tabletops because they just don't stand up to it at 15 mil.
Yeah. Yeah, you're normally playing somewhere that doesn't have the best natural light or the best lighting in general, so
yeah,
making them a bit brighter looks better.
Yeah, there are several places where we've written articles about the scale effect of colour.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so thanks for turning up, everyone. Thanks for probing us with so many questions. Like Casey said, we're going to take a break next week. We'll let the Dune guys take the time slot. If you've ever played the Dune board game or heard of it, or you've liked the old Dune books, come along. They're actually a really interesting bunch of guys to talk to. They'll no doubt have some good insights and some good discussion. Hopefully we'll be back after that. I don't see why we won't. Throw us some questions. It's always good to have a few topics to discuss. If you can send us something on Facebook or somewhere else.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts from you guys?
No, that's it. Just hit us up on Instagram if you do have any questions that you want us to answer next time. If you think of anything between now and then. Any other feedback on the stream's good. But yeah, we enjoy doing them, and so we'll look to keep doing them, I think.
Yeah. Casey, Wayne?
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah, I agree with what Victor said there. I was nodding my head, but then I realised my camera's not working.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep painting.
Oh, and let us know if anybody else uses an optivisor like Wayne.
Oh,
Or if Wayne has convinced you that you need to step your fashion game up.
And send photos. Because you've got reading glasses on underneath those, don't you?
Yep.
6 eyes.
yes.
Cool.
I mean, I was struggling because I used to just paint because I'm normally short-sighted, so I used to just paint without my glasses on, and I discovered I was really having trouble focusing because my 2 eyes are slightly different, so I had to have the glasses on to make them similar. And then I needed to look close at things, so I tried the optivisor. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everyone, and we'll catch you hopefully in 2 weeks' time.
Cool.
See you later.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.